Hello, my name is ALINA PANCIU and welcome to my course entitled Fundamental Concepts in the Architecture of an Electric Vehicle. Today we will start with Module 1 regarding work safety and security when operating high voltage current. After reading this module, you should be able to know what high voltage is, identify the components of an electric vehicle that have high voltage, understand the safety risk associated with high voltage, identify the components of a safety kit, understand the standard operating procedure to safely disconnect high voltage systems of electric cars. You should be able to comprehend some notions like high voltage, electric car components, safety risk, safety kit, standard operating procedure, and warning signs. Our module will be structured as follows. We have 5 sections that will teach you exactly what we discussed earlier. So we will begin with section 1, high voltage. According to the International Electrotechnical Commission, high voltage is typically defined as any voltage above 1000 volts for alternating current and 1500 volts for direct current. In automotive industry, it refers to voltage above 60 volts direct current. At this level, the need for contact protection becomes mandatory. High voltage classification. When speaking about vehicle voltage classes, it is useful to distinguish between low voltage and high voltage. Usually at low voltage, injuries are not very serious, but when handling components with high voltage, it is possible to have some risk. In this table, you can see some measures of high voltage, and you should be able to know it every time you start to repair or maintain an electric vehicle. Section 2. The components of an electric car that have high voltage. It is very useful to know that we have high voltage systems in 3 important parts of an electric vehicle: on the powertrain, on the charging infrastructure, and on the aggregate and onboard network. Charging infrastructure refers to quick charge unit and onboard charger. Powertrains consist in electric motor, high voltage battery pack, and power electronics. Aggregate and onboard network contains high voltage distributor, compressor, PTC heater, and DC-DC converter. We will discuss about all of these components when we will discuss about the components of an electric vehicle. So, first, what we should remember in this section is that all these components carry high voltage. So, every time you will intervene upon them, you really must be very careful to use all the safety instruction given by the manufacturer and by your chief of staff. Further, Unit 3. The safety risk associated with high voltage. The risk associated with working on high voltage system is an electric shock that could be fatal in certain conditions. So, electric currents of more than 0.5 milliamperes in AC voltage and more than 2 milliamperes in DC voltage are capable of causing injuries. So, you must be very careful. The danger of having an electric accident is higher when you remove the components covers marked with label warnings, handling components of the driving system, opening casings, disconnecting electrical connectors, coming into contact with components or colored orange cables of the driving system on a damaged vehicle, coming into contact with components or colored orange cables or with their damaged connections, coming into contact with the components of the driving system. So, please remember, every time you intervene on an electric vehicle, please be very careful when handling this type of components. How to reduce risk? Well, first of all, we have to warn others about the current state of the vehicle being worked on. It is very good to put warning signs and safety risk signs so everybody would know that an electric car is being intervened upon. Only use insulated tools when carrying out repair or maintenance work. Lock off and isolate before working on electric and hybrid vehicles. Use safety signs to assist in assuring that correct procedures are being adhered to. Be overprotective when it comes to safety clothing. So, we cannot wear our normal clothing. Good. Now, Unit 4. The components of a safety kit. It is very important to dress up according to the operation that you will be doing. It is very important to ask your chief of staff, namely the service chief, to give you the safety kit that involves electrician helmet, insulated gloves, face protection mask, and protection clothing tested for electric arc front side and sleeves. So, without this piece of clothing, you will not be able to intervene safely and securely on an electric vehicle. Moreover, you will need a diagnosis tester, an HV tester, original equipment manufacturer work procedure documentation, and insulated toolkits. So we must be very careful because normal toolkits will not be able to keep you safe if you intervene upon electrical vehicles. So stay safe and get special tools. Section 5. The standard operating procedure to safely disconnect high voltage systems on electric car. So, in order to be safe when intervening upon an electric vehicle, we have to be able to disconnect the entire high voltage system upon the car. Then we can safely, surely handle any other component of an electric car. Step 1. Turn the ignition key off and remove the ignition key from the vehicle. Step 2. Set up a barrier around the vehicle, approximately 1 meter away from the vehicle. Step 3. Place a high voltage warning sign on the vehicle so everybody would know that you are working on an electric vehicle. Step 4. Remove the negative terminal of the 12-volt battery and insulate it. Step 5. Secure the bolts, if any, at safe place or it may lead to short circuit. Step 6. Check the voltage tester for proper functioning with a 12-volt battery. Step 7. Remove watch or any metal objects from your body and wear the HV protection gloves in your hands. Step 8. Unlock the service plug and then disconnect it from the HV battery pack. Step 9. Wait for a few minutes, as specified by the manufacturers. And the final step, Step 10. Ensure zero voltage at terminals with multimeter before proceeding with any service activity. After all the steps were taken, you can now begin your job type, stay safe and be careful. Good job! You completed Module 1. After reading this module, you are now familiar with basic knowledge of high voltage, safety risks while working on electrical cars, and how to avoid injuries. What protection equipment is needed, and which are the steps to help disconnect AV system in order to safely begin your maintenance operation. Thank you for being attentive to this module, and please stay connected for my next course. It will be even more interesting. Thank you very much for watching this presentation. I hope you find it helpful. Bye bye!